Is eating meat evil? Specifically, is it evil for human beings to be eating animal meat? That's a question that has been on my mind for almost my entire life now. And every time that's come up, I've always ended up with one conclusion. Even though I am a voracious meat eater myself, I love eating meat, I still do think it is morally bad for me to be eating meat. Now, before I get into why I came to that conclusion, I think it's important that I give this disclaimer. This is not advice. This is not dietary advice. This is not lifestyle advice. In fact, I don't think I care all too much about what you prefer to eat or what you have on your plate. This video is definitely not meant to offend anyone. It's purely a video about my philosophy on my dietary habits and what I think I'm doing rather than what you should be doing. So if you're offended at any point in the video, you can always close it down. It's not meant for you, it's meant for me. So let's begin at why this question came up to me today, again. It's been 2 weeks since Ria and I properly shared a meal together. To give context, she's observing Lent. It's a period of 40 days where Catholics observe some sort of fasting or giving up on something that they usually partake in. And Ria, like many other Catholics, has given up on eating meat for 40 days, which makes me think about my own dietary preferences. Now, Ria has been doing it for 2 weeks, and I can't even imagine how I would go a week without eating some sort of meat. You see, I eat meat almost every single day. It's just that big a part of my diet. I try not to think about it too much, but I've always thought that eating meat is, morally evil or like morally bad. How does it feel like not having meat for 2 weeks?
It's tough. It's tough, of course. Bound to be tough, and that's the point.
What do you think on the morality of meat? Do you think eating meat is morally good?
I mean, objectively speaking, very gray area for me. I don't know if I have an answer for that. It's easy to say that killing something is bad, objectively speaking, but it's not as direct and easy as just saying that, because it's very circumstantial. Like, I'm not sure I can say, I can't say that.
That's the very question that I'm trying to explore in this video. And just to try it out, I'm eating vegetarian for the whole day, no meat today, just to give you company. She made us peanut butter bread, and that's the first meal of the day, by the way. Now, of course, the first thing to do would be to define what I mean by evil. When I say evil here, I mean something that is morally not good or something that's morally bad. I don't mean evil as in like cartoony evil. I just mean it in a way that says it's not good. For the purposes of this video, not good simply means causing harm. I'm not going to go into morality and what it means. That's, I think, a whole huge topic for another video. But for this video, just understand when I say evil, I mean causing active, intentional harm to something else or someone else. I'm talking about morality and ethics because for me, there is no scientific or evolutionary reason not to eat meat. We know for a fact that human beings are omnivores. We have canines as well as molars, and our digestive systems aren't as elongated or complex as a pure herbivore. For example, well, these guys. Human beings eat meat. Our bodies, our biology, it's all a proof of that. But it's not a question of whether our ancestors needed meat to survive. Of course they did. But of whether we, people in 2025, need meat to survive. It's not a question of culture or habits. It's more about a question of ethics. Like, I'll be honest, I do not need to eat meat to survive in 2025. It's more that I enjoy the taste so much that I prioritize my pleasure of the taste of meat over the lives of whatever animal that has been killed to provide me that pleasure. Like, when you think about it, it sounds kind of messed up, but bear with me. I myself come from a culture of meat eaters. We eat meat to celebrate, we eat meat to commemorate. We enjoy eating meat so much that, in fact, if someone doesn't eat meat, it's kind of frowned upon. Like there's this running gag in my circles that whenever we're served anything vegetarian that's supposed to be non-vegetarian, like for example momo, that we mockingly bring up the question, is it even a momo if it's vegetarian? You know? And there was a time when I was a teenager, I had briefly given up eating meat, at least all meats except chicken, because I believe I had discovered how meat gets onto my plate, and I was completely revolted and disgusted by the fact of how slaughtering and the meat industry worked. I remember how difficult it was for me to eat anything because of my family's and my culture's dependence on meat in almost every other meal. I'm just saying this to give context to my brief history with this whole topic. You see, I've always loved animals, although I don't like using that term. I wouldn't include myself in the animal lover category, at least the way that animal lovers behave nowadays. But I've always been interested in animals, especially the wild ones. Like as a kid, I would watch Animal Planet and Discovery Channel over cartoons. I wanted to be a paleontologist, dig up dinosaur bones, that sort of thing. In fact, I learned how to use the camera and went to film school for this very purpose. I thought I could be one of those Animal Planet hosts, get to meet and see these wild animals all day long. Of course, I grew out of that ambition, but the love for animals still remain. Even nowadays, what Ria and me do all day, every day, is send each other cute videos of cute animals back and forth. It's because we've always shared that love for animals. And while I don't prioritize any animal over a human, I still have great respect for animal life, just as much as you would say respect your pet's life or the life of some stranger living across the world. And one of the main reasons that I chose to live here, I guess instead of living in the middle of the city, is because of the sheer proximity to the number of animals, both wild and domestic, that's all around this place. I mean, you can see a herd of cows there, birds everywhere. I see a new bird every day. I think there's as many animals in this place as there are human beings, which is kind of nice. Also, my lunch for today is nachos. Now, I'm not an animal activist. I don't want to impose my beliefs on anyone. I'm not here to lecture anyone on how to raise their animals or what they should be eating or not eating. It's just a personal case of moral hypocrisy. Because I can't with the same conscience say that causing unnecessary harm is bad and at the same time eat meat. Because the meat industry, the way meat arrives on my plate, I know the process is riddled with cruelty and unnecessary harm. I mean, just the act of killing itself for my taste buds is unnecessary harm. So I'm just a hypocrite at this point. I just cannot have moral consistency if I eat meat and say that unnecessary suffering is bad. I hope that explains my conundrum, because it's not just about guilt or feeling bad for animals at this point. It's more about if I am a big fat liar, lying to myself and being a moral hypocrite. If my principles are this loose, then I might as well not have any, right? I'm surprised I forgot this park even exists. I'll be coming here much more often now. Super peaceful here. This little monkey's just been chilling. And by the way, the sunset today, hauntingly beautiful. Check it out. Okay, so now let's conclude. I've taken into account every single argument that I have for eating meat. And honestly speaking, none of them really hold up. I cannot prove to myself that eating meat is a net positive or it's a good thing. Every argument that I've heard or researched points to the fact that eating meat is, by definition, cruel, unnecessary, and immoral or evil. Now, this does not mean that I'm going vegan, nor does it mean that I'm asking anybody else to do so, because then I'd be a hypocrite on top of being another hypocrite. It just means that I am consciously choosing to participate in something that I know is morally reprehensible. I am prioritizing 5 minutes of taste over a whole lifetime of pain, fear, suffering for that animal. And just so there's no confusion, I don't arrive at this situation out of sympathy or queasiness. It's just that I have lost the license forever to call myself a good person, you know? Now, again, I'm not calling anyone a bad person for eating meat. It's just that I don't think I can call myself a good person for eating meat. So, do I think that eating meat for me is a bad thing? Yes. Am I going to stop? Not really. What does that say about my character? And taking that idea further, what other logical inconsistencies do I have in other parts of my morality? What other blind spots do I possess regarding what is good, what is bad, what is justified, and what is not in my life that I'm still practicing today? That's the whole point of this thought exercise. It kind of demonstrates how selfish I am in a way, because I'm intentionally trying to bubble myself in or choosing to ignore something because it gives me pleasure or it is advantageous to me. So I hope this video has got you thinking about your own logical inconsistencies. It's not just the food that you eat, it's more to say the principles that you hold and how you behave in this world. Whether you're on the side of, eating meat or being vegan or vegetarian, it's your choice. I don't think convincing either side really works. As you can see, I'm willingly choosing to shut down my conscience whenever I'm eating meat. So yeah, this video was a little darker than usual. We'll get back to having fun maybe in the next vlog. I'll see you then. It's dinner time, and the only way I think I could eat something properly and enjoy it was eat something like a pizza. So we came to my favorite pizza place in Siliguri, Darjeeling Smokehouse. I think I'm gonna devour a whole chicken tomorrow.